This looks like, this is when we first launched TransTech. We were looking for a home, and the reality is really no one wanted to give us a home. So we were going to different organizations, holding meetings. We had 40 people show up to our first orientation. And so, I said, I know that there's got to be a path outside of college and outside the institutions that's not violent and discriminatory towards trans people. So I created a learning environment that is an opportunity that no matter who you are in the world, that you could log in and learn how to make money. This is, again, some of you kind of saw in the video. This is before I had an office, before we had an actual space. So many spaces are so violent for trans people, for LGBT people, for transient people, that we just needed a space. So I finally got an office space in Chicago. We have our flagship office space there. Pretty much I can only afford to keep it open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 4, but it is a place for folks to jump in. We have IMAX. We have trainings that go on there that are led by members. We have volunteers that come in to do trainings. And so this is sort of, we have these groups, so TransTech DC, we're TransTech LA, TransTech San Francisco, we want to create those, and then they can go in on our website and do like project management and learn how to use project management tools. We have trainings in there that I put in there for teaching them how to do different things, sell websites. But more so, and we also have job opportunities, like a job board for people to find different. A lot of companies reach out to me, especially those companies that are looking to get on HRC's Corporate Equality Index list, and they're like, "Who do you got?" So we got that, but we also have people looking for freelancers, and that's why you saw the sort of hire slide in the beginning. And so these are the aspects that we sort of look at when we're talking to these companies, like what is the application process like? Because if I send someone to you, are they going to have to check boxes they don't want to check? What's the hiring process like? The interview process, retention strategies, looking at your training process. Are there opportunities for advancement? That's kind of key. When I say opportunities for advancement, what some people think, oh, of course there are. But a lot of times when you're dealing with marginalized groups, and some companies recognize that, they will hire them and keep them where they're at an outreach level, at a level that it's hard to uplift because I don't have the time to go back to college or to do these other things. So I promote creating an infrastructure where there's training available for people to take, and that they have a life balance that is able to have them access those trainings so that they can then access some opportunities for advancement. So my call to action for you all and for anyone who wants to consider themselves an ally is the least that we can do is create space. Create space. When I talk about the fact that trans people and LGBT people are kept out of schools, they're kicked out of schools or harassed or end up leaving because they can't take it. They're kicked out of their homes. You see, we're not allowed in many churches. We're still legally able to be fired in a lot of places. So I see when I'm in a lot of different cities and I'm going to different LGBT centers, I see this sense of, where do you belong? You don't belong here. Go somewhere. Where do you belong? But when kids go to school and adults go to work, but when you aren't allowed any space, where do you belong? Creating space. I would love to see, for Salesforce especially, we have this opportunity where our membership is free. You don't have to be trans to become a member. All you do is have to be committed to an understanding of how to support all bodies and all identities and being intersectional about that. And what we would love to do is have any of your employees, anybody that ever wants to volunteer anything. We love donations. Donations are great, but sometimes a connection with someone across identities, with similar identities, is a great space. So if you can create space once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a week, once a day, whatever that commitment looks like to you, to be able to share the skills that brought you here. Maybe they're just soft skills, communication skills. They don't always have to be technical. Maybe they're skills with dealing with a boss. We all have to deal with that. And sometimes when you're in this flight or flight space, you get these opportunities and you get in there, but because of your conditioning and things like that, you may not know how to deal with certain dynamics. I know as a black woman, the higher I climb, the more I'm not used to being treated the way I'm being treated. You know, so I have to reach out to those other black women in those spaces who can tell me, girl, this is what I have to do to kind of get my head focused and stay focused and understand that I have a job to do.